Hey everyone. Midjourney V8 Alpha has been out for a few days now. I am a little behind on getting this video up because I was away for the entire week it launched, but I wanted to take the time to actually look at what is happening in the Discord and the feedback channels instead of just reading the initial announcement. There is a lot to cover regarding how this model actually performs once you get past the release notes. You can only access the V8 model through the Alpha website at alpha.midjourney.com. If you try picking it from the menu on the actual site, you can see it, but it still directs you to Alpha for now. The big change everyone is talking about is the speed. It is roughly 5 times faster than V7. To keep up with that, the team updated the Alpha website with a new grid mode, so you can see a large batch of images at once without having to click through them one by one. It's pretty nice, actually. They also moved the settings into sidebars. This is a nice change because you can tweak your parameters without a menu blocking the images you are looking at. On the technical side, there are some new modes for high-end results. We have a native 2K resolution mode called HD, and a quality setting called Q4. Initially, these features were using up fast hours because Relax mode wasn't ready. But the big update today is that Relax mode is now officially available for V8. This is huge for anyone on a standard, pro or mega plan who wants to test these heavy modes without burning through their monthly quota. Just keep in mind that you still can't run HD and Q4 at the same time in Relax mode. There is also a new default for style references and mood boards called Style version 7. This version is actually 4 times faster and 4 times cheaper than the version V8 launched with. It is designed to work better with personalization and the stylize parameter. If you liked the more literal matching from the first few days, you can still use SV6 to go back to the original version. But the team is really pushing this new default. The SV6 is now the way to access the old model of styles, what I have been exploring in the past. It seems that the style set is the same still, but the styles behave in a slightly different manner. My quick tests showed that the colour scheme seemed to be the same, but initially very simple-looking styles ended up having way more detail than the SV6 version did. I will do a deep dive to this as soon as the model stabilizes a bit more. The developers are saying V8 works best with longer, more detailed prompts, and they are actually encouraging people to crank the stylization up to 1000 right away. They also mentioned that text rendering is much more reliable now if you put the words in quotes. But the community sentiment is leaning towards that it is a bit of a mixed bag. The realism and anatomy are getting a lot of praise, but there is a common complaint that the model has lost its soul. In V7, you could get something atmospheric and artistic with a simple prompt, but V8 is much more literal. Many users are finding the results look technically correct, but visually flat or generic, almost like a stock photo. There is a general feeling that while the model follows the prompt more literally, it has lost that interpretive flair that made V7 special. I guess there has been the artistic decline since V3 already. The unique look has been replaced by a more generic one with each new model. There are also some very specific bugs that the community is documenting. One of the strangest issues is being called the Minecraft effect. For some reason, certain prompts for cities or environments are returning blocky, voxel-style images that look like they were pulled from a video game. There is also a recurring issue with textures. When people prompt for plastic objects, the model is often adding a grainy, layered look that looks exactly like a 3D printed part with visible layer lines, rather than smooth, moulded plastic. Composition is another area where people are seeing a step backward. There have been several reports of the model ignoring camera angles like low angle or side view and just defaulting to a basic centered shot. Coherency is also a bit unpredictable. Some users have found that prompts which were perfectly fine in V7 are suddenly triggering unintended results or losing their structure in V8. There is also a consensus that the model tends to make people look much older and more mature than what is specified in the prompt. It is a powerful update in terms of speed and literal adherence, but it feels like the community is still trying to decide if the trade-offs in artistic style are worth it. If you are testing it out, the best thing to do is use the rating system in the lightbox to let them know what is working. The team is calling this a totally new model, and they are already working on a training run for V8.1, which should be out in about 2 or 3 weeks. They want to use that version to fix the default aesthetics and improve how it handles image prompts. They are really pushing for people to use the Prompt Challenge channel to post examples where V7 clearly outperformed V8 so they can see where those gaps are. This sounds a lot like V8 didn't really turn out the way they hoped, and 8.1 will attempt to fix the issues quickly. We've heard the promise of a few weeks for many times now, so I would be surprised if that were to actually happen. For me, I have been seeing kind of a needy look for it, and I have seen many drawing pad edges in the grids. Then again, I have been using the regular, non-personalized default style to test this out, so no cranking of stylization up to 1000 or anything other than just the prompt. Also, my regular workflow is still a bit disrupted with this new version being only available on the alpha website. The grid view is actually quite nice, but my main workflow has still been on Discord up to this point, so for me it is a bit of an inconvenience at the moment that it is not available through Discord. Regardless, it is nice that it is finally here and we can play around with it. I recently made a video about the main competitors and what they are good at in comparison to Midjourney and to each other, so feel free to check that out as well. I thank you so much for watching, and let's continue prompting.